He had fallen in love with me when the plan was to find a nice Tswana girl.
A white girl, there's gonna be drama.
I was forcefully introduced to Wandi's family.
This was not my best moment, okay?
Wandi and Jessica met on a film set.
Wandi was the lead actor, and I would say that's how we met. But it was a bit interesting in the sense that he fancied me straight away.
I thought you were hot. I liked you. I thought you were pretty.
We were just chatting to each other, and he was playing with like a shambok. And he was talking to me, and he was wobbling the shambok. And then he looked at me, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot what I was saying. You distracted me."
I had practiced that line for months. It just came out wrong. It was amazing how Jess always felt like a place of calm on set. She was always loving and welcoming to everyone, which I found very endearing. That was the first impression I got of Jess, that she was a very warm, welcoming person.
Thanks, Wandi.
You're welcome, Wandi.
So my first impression of Wandi, and at the time I used to call him Wandi for. I can remember the first time I had seen him. We had come through for lunch, and the cast were sitting down and they were very calm, you know, with their plates on their laps, and they were eating. And Wandi was jumping, talking about something. I just remember this like energized bunny. I think in hindsight, that's nice, that's cute. It's the opposite to me, because I'm very like, and Wandi's like jumps and is acting. I think that just appealed to me, and I was accurate because that's exactly what he's like even now. I think knowing whether we were the right people for each other was just such a feeling state thing for us. It wasn't anything about ticking boxes.
I mean, for me, obviously, you know, I was just like, a white girl, there's gonna be drama. I had planned to marry a nice
Tswana girl. Yeah,
what's a team, what's a mohodu, who's respectful.
He fought the feeling.
I fought it hard. I was like, no, Lokhoa, no stress. I got Lokhoa. I want a nice girl. What's on Rustenburg? That didn't happen.
Wandi wasn't in any rush to introduce Jess to his family, but fate had other plans for them.
I was forcefully introduced to Wandi's family.
Look, this was not my best moment, okay?
About 1.5 years into our relationship. Not out of his own choice, but because he decided to land up in ICU in a coma. I had to introduce myself to Wandi's family. "Oh, my name's Jess. It's so nice to meet you." And they're like, "Who are you?"
Okay, that was not the best timing. I agree, I accept. The delaying of introducing Jess did a bit of a thing to do with the fact that she was white.
He was still fighting the vibe of the sense that he was struggling to accept that he had fallen in love with me when the plan was to find a nice Tswana girl. So even himself, he was still trying to accept, let alone introduce me to the family. And the first time my mom met Wandi, it was about 3 months into our relationship or so. He came. Anyway, we spoke for a bit, but it's already late. He falls asleep in my bed. I go to the lounge to sleep on the couch. This has all happened while my parents are sleeping. So she wakes up in the morning and opens my room, and she sees the black guy in her daughter's bed. No daughter to be seen. It was a very confusing moment for her.
Sadly, not everyone in the family was on board with their interracial relationship.
The majority of my family has been accepting of Wandi. We have had some issues with family members who have struggled to accept, because now it's 14 years later. And unfortunately, those relationships haven't necessarily been mended. And I don't think I'm divorcing you anytime soon.
I hope not.
Very difficult. I think when it comes to cultural differences, they catch you off guard when you least expect them. Doing things as a makoti, things that are expected of me, have been a process throughout the marriage. Yeah. We'll be going to more of a traditional type get-together for a specific reason with the families. And Wandi will feel as though like I have to put a duk on. And sometimes I'll be fine with putting a duk on, but sometimes I just want to be Jess and not put a duk on. It's not about just simply wearing a duk. Sometimes I feel arbitrary because it's noticeable when the white girl wears a duk. So sometimes I just want to look like the normal one. I'm already standing out. I'm the only white person there. Can I just look like the white girl? No, now I must come as the white girl dressed as a black girl. race things stand out more with regards to memorable moments that are funny or awkward, generally revolve around race.
Yeah.
There's always things happening. But I was walking in a mall once. I've got a bad habit of not zipping my bag closed. And Wandi has a habit of lingering behind me. He doesn't walk with me. He walks like a step or two behind me. And he's always been like that. It's just his thing.
I'm just checking the streets, make sure that nobody's, you know what I'm saying?
I was walking and he was doing his lingering thing. And a lady came up to me and she's like, I think you should just close your bag because kids are ignorant. My son has often been asked if he's adopted. Kids will even come up to me and say, is this your daughter? How does she look like that? And I said, well, this is the dad. And then they're like, oh, okay. Being in the public eye, I think, with both of us can have its challenges. We are in the public space and we lend ourselves to public scrutiny.
Even with the challenges, Wandi and Jess have found happiness together. Curious to know their secret.
I wouldn't suggest being in an interracial relationship when things are uncertain or you're on rocky ground. You need to be quite bonded and steadfast with each other.
I think advice I would have for interracial couples is that you really need to really believe it. It can't be for the gram or for TikTok or trying to be relevant. You need to genuinely be in love with this person, and not to sound like a doomsday prophet, but you need to do that because it's not an easy road.